Welcome to our deep dive, all about Hungary, and especially its capital city, Budapest. You've given us a really interesting mix of sources this time. It looks like you might be planning a trip, or maybe you're just fascinated by this part of the world.
Either way, we've got a document that looks like it might be a student's presentation about Hungary, and some material on Hungarian culture and traditions, and a list of must-see spots in Budapest.
Yeah, sounds like we're going on a virtual journey through Hungary today.
Let's see where these sources take us.
Okay, perfect. So let's start with some basics. This presentation gives us the rundown. Hungary is in Central Europe, part of the EU, NATO, Schengen, all that good stuff. But here's something that I bet you didn't know. Hungary is split into 19 counties.
19 counties.
19 counties.
Wow, that is surprising for a country of its size.
Yeah.
What I find fascinating is that this kind of division hints at a diverse geography and regional identities within Hungary. The presentation mentions the Transdanubian Hills, the Great Plain, and the mountainous north. Do those areas represent distinct cultural or linguistic differences? I wonder if the administrative structure evolved over time to reflect those regional distinctions.
That's a great question. It makes you wonder if those 19 counties each have their own unique traditions and foods.
Right.
Speaking of food, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Hungary is goulash.
Of course.
And this source mentions it as a famous Hungarian dish. Yeah.
Ah, goulash. A true culinary emblem of Hungary. But remember, there's a whole world of Hungarian flavors beyond goulash. The source mentions stuffed cabbage, chimney cake, langos. It seems Hungarian cuisine is as diverse as its landscape.
My mouth is watering already.
Yeah.
We can't forget about the Pálinka. Have you ever tried Pálinka? It's a traditional fruit brandy.
I have not.
It's a big part of Hungarian culture.
This source says it often pops up at celebrations and traditional events. Pálinka is more than just a drink in Hungary. It's an integral part of their heritage. It's often homemade and varies by region, with each family having their own unique recipe passed down through generations. There's a real sense of pride and tradition associated with it. Which, speaking of traditions, this document mentions some really interesting customs.
Okay, get ready for this. We've got Busó walks to scare away winter, boys sprinkling perfume on girls on Easter Monday, and a bridal dance that supposedly ensures financial stability.
Wow.
It all sounds incredibly vibrant and festive.
Those traditions offer a captivating glimpse into Hungary's rich history and folklore. The Busó walks, with their elaborate costumes and masks, likely have pagan roots connected to ancient rituals meant to influence the cycle of seasons. And that perfume sprinkling on Easter Monday. What a charming evolution of ancient fertility rituals.
It's amazing how these customs have managed to survive throughout the centuries, linking modern-day Hungarians to their ancestors. Speaking of connecting past and present, let's move on to the star of the show. Budapest. This source paints a picture of a city divided by the Danube, with Buda on one side and Pest on the other. And the landmarks, Matthias Church, the Royal Palace, the Parliament building, it all sounds absolutely breathtaking.
What strikes me is the architectural diversity that Budapest showcases. Gothic churches, a palace that once housed the monarchy, a modern cable bridge. You're right, it really does sound breathtaking, but I wonder, does that diversity reflect influences from neighboring empires, or is it more about internal shifts in artistic styles and political priorities?
I never thought about it that way. This source also highlights Heroes Square, with its statues of important historical figures. I'd love to know more about them and what they represent in Hungarian history.
Absolutely. I think that's the beauty of exploring a new place. There's always more to discover beneath the surface. This deep dive is giving us a great starting point, but it's clear that there's a whole world of Hungarian history, culture, and personal experiences waiting to be explored.
Well, let's start by diving into one of those landmarks, Matthias Church. This 700-year-old Gothic masterpiece has witnessed centuries of Hungarian history, from coronations to sieges. And the fact that it was rebuilt in the last century adds another layer of intrigue.
It certainly does. It speaks to the resilience of the Hungarian people and their commitment to preserving their cultural heritage. And we can't overlook City Park, the largest open space in Budapest. This source describes it as a microcosm of Hungarian culture, featuring a zoo, a fun fair, and even a castle built to display the country's diverse architectural styles. It's like they captured the essence of Hungary and put it right in the heart of Budapest.
Speaking of architectural marvels, we have to talk about the Elizabeth Bridge, the first cable bridge in Europe. This source says its graceful lines contrast beautifully with the grand historical buildings around it, creating a visual conversation between the old and the new. What do you make of that?
I think it reflects how Budapest seamlessly blends its rich history with modern advancements, making it a dynamic city for both history buffs and those interested in contemporary trends. What stands out to you about this blend?
I think it makes Budapest feel both timeless and incredibly current, which is a tough balance to strike. But for now, let's shift our focus to the crown jewel of Buda, the royal palace. This source says it began as a 13th century castle and was transformed into a magnificent residence for the monarchy in the 19th century. Today it houses the National Gallery, showcasing Hungary's artistic treasures. What a regal transformation.
The royal palace is like a living timeline of Hungarian history, from a defensive fortress to a symbol of power and now a repository of art.
It's a constant reminder that history is never static, it's always evolving. But for now, let's cross the Danube and head over to Pest, where the impressive parliament building stands as a symbol of Hungary's democratic spirit. It's incredible that construction started in 1885 and wasn't finished until 1905. That's 2 decades of meticulous craftsmanship.
The Parliament building, with its neo-Gothic grandeur, embodies national pride and a nation's aspirations. And the fact that it took 2 decades to build underscores the dedication and artistry involved. The Parliament building is truly an architectural marvel. But remember, our journey through Hungary goes beyond just the buildings. We've also got those fascinating insights into traditions and cultural nuances to explore.
You're right. Time to trade our sightseeing shoes for dancing slippers or maybe some sturdy boots for those Busó walks we talked about.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the heart of Hungarian culture.
We've already touched upon some of the unique customs like the Busó walks and the playful perfume sprinkling tradition on Easter Monday. But there's so much more to uncover. What else catches your eye?
Well, this source mentions Hungarian weddings, and they sound like quite the event. Apparently, the entire village participates in the wedding procession. And the bridal dance is a clever way to ensure the couple's financial stability. Guests have to pay to dance with the bride.
It's fascinating how these traditions emphasize the communal aspect of celebrations. It's not just about the couple, it's about the whole community coming together to celebrate a new chapter.
Yeah.
And breaking glasses to ward off evil spirits. That's certainly one way to make a wedding memorable.
I love the idea of a whole village celebrating together. And of course, there's the Pálinka flowing freely throughout the festivities. It really does seem like this fruit brandy is a staple at any good Hungarian celebration.
Indeed. Pálinka represents hospitality, tradition, and a shared sense of identity. It's woven into the fabric of Hungarian life.
Seems like I need to add sample Pálinka to my list of things to do in Hungary. But this source also talks about name days. Have you ever heard of name days?
Yeah.
It says every first name has a specific day on the calendar, tied to historical events or religious figures.
Name days offer a fascinating glimpse into the importance of personal connections and traditions in Hungarian society. While they might not be as big as birthdays, they still offer a chance to show your loved ones you care.
It's a beautiful tradition. Now, let's talk holidays. Hungary seems to have a pretty full calendar. We've got historical commemorations like the Hungarian Revolution and War of Independence, celebrated on March 15th, where everyone wears the kokarda, a national emblem. And then there's the more lighthearted May Day, with maypoles and, of course, lots of beer and Vienna sausage.
Each holiday gives you a unique perspective on the nation's history, values, and their obvious love of celebration.
And, of course, there's Christmas. But in Hungary, it's not Santa Claus who brings the presents, it's the infant Jesus, or Jezuska. This source says children are kept out of the Christmas tree decorating because they're told angels bring the tree while they're away.
It sounds magical, like a Christmas fairy tale come to life. It really emphasizes the wonder of the season for children.
And no Hungarian Christmas tree would be complete without zálonkukor, those colorful little bonbons. They come in all sorts of flavors like chestnut, coconut, banana, cherry, and orange jelly, all covered in chocolate. No wonder they're a holiday favorite.
Zálonkukor definitely adds a touch of sweetness and festivity to the Christmas celebrations, embodying the joy and indulgence of the season.
And we can't forget New Year's Day, when Hungarians eat lentil stew or toss lentil seeds at each other for good luck and prosperity. It seems lentils symbolize wealth in Hungarian folklore. And there's also the traditional New Year's meal of pork. Apparently pigs grub up, good luck for the family.
Those traditions are all about hope and prosperity for the new year. It's fascinating how these customs passed down through generations shape the cultural landscape of a country. They give us a window into the hearts and minds of the people, their values, their beliefs, and their spirit.
You're absolutely right. These traditions aren't just rituals. They're threads that connect the past, present, and future of Hungarian identity. But speaking of identity, let's talk about the delicious food we mentioned earlier.
Food is such a powerful expression of cultural identity. And when it comes to showcasing their heritage through cuisine, Hungarians certainly don't shy away from bold flavors and those heartwarming traditions we talked about.
As we've been going through these sources, I'm realizing that Hungary offers more than just stunning architecture and fascinating traditions. It feels like a country that honors its past while embracing the future, a place where history and modern life coexist beautifully. What do you think?
I agree. It certainly seems like a place with a lot to offer. But this raises an important question. What will your experience of Hungary be like? Will you be drawn to the grandeur of Budapest's landmarks, the warmth of its people, or the intricate history and culture? What resonates most with you?
It really does feel like Hungary has something for everyone, and it's incredible how food can be such a powerful symbol of cultural identity.
Absolutely. And as we've seen Hungarians express their heritage through bold flavors and those heartwarming traditions we talked about, it makes you appreciate the depth and richness of their culture.
As we've journeyed through these sources, it's become clear that Hungary is more than just beautiful buildings and captivating customs. It's a country that embraces its past while looking ahead, where history and modernity intertwine seamlessly.
It does make you wonder, what will your experience of Hungary be? Will you be drawn to the grandeur of Budapest's landmarks, the warmth of its people, or the intricate tapestry of its history and culture?
Well, listener name. I think it's safe to say that our deep dive into Hungary has left us with a serious case of wanderlust. From the rolling countryside to the bustling streets of Budapest, Hungary beckons with a symphony of sights, sounds, and flavors.
And remember, this deep dive has only scratched the surface. There are countless hidden gems waiting to be discovered, stories waiting to be told, and experiences waiting to be had.
So here's a final thought to ponder as you continue your exploration. This source mentions that the Hungarian language is renowned for its complexity and unique structure. Imagine the layers of understanding that would unfold if you could experience the culture through its native tongue. Perhaps a Hungarian language course is in order before your trip.
That's a fantastic idea. Immersing yourself in the language would undoubtedly deepen your appreciation for Hungarian culture and allow you to connect with locals on a more meaningful level. It would add a whole new dimension to your journey.
Until then, happy travels and enjoy discovering all that Hungary has to offer.